Hey guys, Richard from the Poke Family here again. Now this video is about Suicune. Everyone knows that Suicune's not one of my favourite Pokemon. It's one of my least favourite Pokemon. But we do have a raid day coming up, and we all need to know how to counter this Pokemon. Normally I would shoot these videos while out and about, but the weather's really bad today, so unfortunately it's an in-house video. Suicune, how to counter it. Here we go. The first thing to take into consideration when countering Suicune is that it's a pure water type, which means that it's only weak to electric and grass. That's it. That's all it's weak to. So I'm going to give you the top 6 counters and then a few others afterwards on, which are the best Pokemon to defeat this boss. Now the number 1 counter, Suicune doesn't have a double weakness, it's only got single weaknesses, so because it's a pure water type, so it's not like you can counter it in the same way that you can counter Rayquaza, that there are really powerful counters for it. There are strong counters for it. The top counter for Suicune is Raikou. Legendary Pokemon, not the easiest to get. You want Thunder Shock and Wild Charge as your moves on Raikou. Number 1 counter. Everything else that comes after this is lesser down the scale. Some of them are still pretty good. Secondly, I'm going to drop Electivire with Thunder Shock and Wild Charge. The reason why I put this second over the third Pokemon is it just seems to be able to deal more damage. Definitely Thunder Shock generates energy better than Spark, which is the other quick move that a lot of the electric types have, which means you get more Wild Charges off, and Wild Charge is simply an extremely powerful electric move. So Electivire, number 2. Number 3, Magnezone. Magnezone is a steel electric type Pokemon. You want Spark and Wild Charge. It will sometimes resist some of Suicune's moves. Suicune generally has some weird quick moves. It has like a Snarl, an Extra Sensory. Snarl's a dark move, and Extra Sensory is a psychic move, not water moves. Its charge moves, it has 3 water charge moves, which is what you'd expect, but it also has an ice charge move. So Magnezone has a little bit more resistance depending on which charge move Suicune has, but it's not going to deal as much damage as quickly as Electivire. In the number 4 spot, I've put Roserade, but you need to be extremely careful when using Roserade. You need to be aware, you need to look at your recommended to see whether it's recommending any grass types to you, because if it's not, in all likelihood Suicune's going to have the ice move. Grass are weak to ice, so Roserade, which is very much a grass cannon, a grass cannon, a glass cannon, that's accurate, a grass cannon, is going to die quickly to that ice move. It's going to go down very quickly to it. You want Razor Leaf and Grass Knot on Roserade. Be careful if using it though. It is a super strong attacker, but be very careful. Make sure that it's not using the ice move. Make sure that Suicune's not using the ice move. Number 5, Luxray. Pure electric type, Spark and Wild Charge. Luxray is pretty cool. It's okay. It's above average. If you don't have Electivire, if you don't have Raikou, if you don't have Magnezone, Luxray is a good port of call. Amazingly, they're not as easy to come by, I don't think. They've not been around as long, that's for sure. We've been able to be hunting Magnemite since the beginning. Electabuzz since the beginning. Raikou not so much, but it wasn't too long into the game when we got access to it. Luxray is fairly new, and it's not the best. Spark Wild Charge. You want on that? And then finally in my top 6, I've put Zapdos. Now you want the Raid Day Zapdos, the one that has Thunder Shock as its quick move. Charge Beam Zapdos is right out, I wouldn't use it at all. So Thunder Shock, Thunderbolt, but again, be aware, Zapdos is an electric flying type and will be weak, because flying is weak to ice, to the ice move that Suicune has. So you need to be very careful. Personally, I would always choose from the top 3. I would try and fill as many spots with the top counter and the remaining spots with the other 2, with Electivire and Magnezone. Simply because they will do a lot of damage. They're the best damaging Pokemon in my opinion, and they're not going to fall foul to the strange moves that Suicune seems to have. Let's move on to lesser counters. Lesser counters, a lot of these are going to be grass types, and the reason why they fall below is just simply because they're not going to be viable against the ice version. So if you're going to build a team, you want to build a team that's going to work quickly. It's a raid day, so it's trying to beat as many raid bosses as possible, but also they're just not going to last against the ice move. So I've got Sceptile, Venusaur, Breloom, Mewtwo. Make sure that it's got Thunderbolt. If you're looking at your Shadow Ball Mewtwo, don't swap it out, just find another counter. Executor and a Alolan Executor. You want to fill these out with grass moves, guys. They're lesser counters. Obviously there are moves that are preferential on these lesser counters, but you're only looking at these if you don't have any of the top 6. So unlike Rayquaza, the current raid boss, the best scenario you're looking for is about 6 to 7 trainers to take this boss down efficiently, so you can move on to the next one quickly, get as many shiny checks in as possible, get as many raids done as possible within the time allocated. Minimal with really top counters, with everybody having really top counters, every single person, you're looking at 3 trainers. It's a toughie, raid boss, it's a bit of a toughie, but it's not great either. I mean, the Suicune, we're shiny hunting, to be honest. A perfect CP, 1704. If it's rainy, which will boost your electric types too, you look at 2130. And that, my friends, is how to counter Suicune. See you guys in the next video.